What if the single biggest thing holding you back from the life you want isn't your job, your partner, or your bank account? What if it's an enemy you can't see, one that lives inside your own head? Today, we're dragging that enemy, your inner critic, out into the light. I'm going to show you exactly how it's been quietly wrecking your confidence and sabotaging your success. And, most importantly, I'll give you a simple, 3-step game plan to finally shut it down. Does any of this sound familiar? I'm not qualified for that job. I just know I'm going to mess this up. Everyone in this room is smarter than me. That's the voice of your inner critic, and it's way more than just a random negative thought. It's a pattern, a habit wired deep into your brain that's actively working against you. So where does it come from? Usually, it's an echo of something from our past. Maybe it was a parent who was never satisfied, a teacher with impossible standards, or just the non-stop pressure from social media to have the perfect life. Eventually, we absorb those outside voices until we don't need anyone else to put us down. We do a pretty great job of it ourselves. And this isn't just about bad feelings. It has real-world consequences. That inner critic is what keeps you from speaking up in a meeting, asking for that raise you deserve, or finally starting that business you've been dreaming about. It's the engine behind imposter syndrome, where you feel like a total fraud no matter what you accomplish, always waiting for someone to find you out. In your relationships, it might look like constantly needing reassurance or being too scared of rejection to set healthy boundaries. It's a slow poison, and its main ingredient is self-doubt. It traps you in a cycle. You avoid a challenge because you don't think you can do it, which then just proves the inner critic right. If you recognize that voice, if you feel that pattern holding you back, stick with me, because we're about to break that cycle for good. All right, so we get the problem. How do we actually fix this? Most people think the answer is to get into a wrestling match with their inner critic. But here's the thing, fighting it just makes it stronger. The real key is to unlearn the self-doubt. It's about completely changing your perspective. Here are 3 shifts you can start making today to take your confidence back. First things first, you have to stop treating yourself like an enemy and start treating yourself like a good friend. Think about it. When your friend messes up, you don't call them a complete failure. You offer support. You help them see the bigger picture. Self-compassion is just about giving yourself that same kindness. So instead of, "I'm such a failure," try something like, "Okay, that was tough, but I learned something, and I'll do better next time." This isn't about making excuses for yourself. It's about lowering the emotional damage of self-doubt so you have the energy to get back up and try again. When that inner critic starts talking, just pause and ask yourself, is this thought actually true? Is it fair? You'll usually find that it's just an old, warped story you've been telling yourself, not a fact. The second shift is all about changing what you believe about your own abilities. A lot of us have a fixed mindset, the belief that our intelligence and our talents are just set in stone. This turns every single challenge into a pass-fail test on who we are. But a growth mindset is the belief that you can develop your abilities with hard work and dedication. When you really embrace this, failure stops being a final verdict on your worth and just becomes part of the learning process. A setback isn't proof that you're incompetent. It's a chance to figure out what to do differently. This one change sucks all the power out of self-doubt. You stop thinking, "I'm just not smart enough," and start thinking, "I'm learning, I'm getting better every day." The focus shifts from perfection to progress. And the third shift is maybe the most important. Take small, concrete actions. Self-doubt loves it when you sit around overthinking. The longer you wait, the more what-ifs your inner critic can come up with. The best way to silence that voice is to prove it wrong with action, especially when you don't feel ready. Start with what I call micro-experiments. These are tiny, achievable tasks that push you just one step closer to your goal. If you're terrified of leading a project, start by offering to lead a tiny 5-minute part of a team meeting. If you're scared of networking, just send one single email to start. Every small win becomes a piece of evidence that your inner critic is a liar. You're literally building a library of your own successes that you can pull from when you feel weak. You're not waiting around for confidence to show up, you're building it, one small action at a time. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me one small action, one micro experiment you're going to try this week to start building your own body of evidence. Let's make it real by sharing it. Remember, that voice of self-doubt isn't you, and it isn't the truth. It's just a program that got installed a long time ago, and any program can be uninstalled. It all starts by choosing to treat yourself with kindness, believing that you can always learn and grow, and taking small, steady actions that prove your own doubts wrong. This isn't an overnight fix, but it is the beginning of a journey back to yourself. It's time to stop letting some voice in your head decide what you can and can't do. Start today and build the kind of confidence you deserve to have.